So, as I was saying, it is important to acknowledge when you have realized a dream, a good dream. And so I'll tell you about my waking dream time. As I was looking across um, the tabs of my computer, there is File, Edit, View, Docs. Profile is grayed out, and Scene, Collection, Tools, and Help. And so most of our software programs end with help. Excuse me. And I don't know how much you use the help button, but as an anagrammist, I see the L in the middle, and the core is always what is in the middle. And so, um, like reading a puzzle from the inside out and from right to left, L would be, help would be LPH. And the H is still capitalized, so we have to see that as a kind of captain. So the last shall be first. In this case, the first was last. And so it fulfills scripture and the dichotomies of scripture. And so back to the beginning tab. I kind of wish you could see it, but I'll just describe it as best as I can. The word file has IL in the middle. IL. That's enough to pronounce IL. And so ILFE, as in female, I'll be a female. And the next tab after the space is edit. So I'll edit for a fee. I am your female who reads code. The problem in the matrix cipher was numb. He had come full circle. All I see is blonde, brunette. He was stuck in his lower chakras. And so it was the mechanical doll. Go into the simulation, think and feel the way you want, program her to your specifications. What's wrong with that? We're even told by, quantum physics, nobody touches anything. This is all a simulation anyway. Well, if that be true, then this is my simulation. Welcome to my corner of the world where the chess pieces have already resolved and the game is over. I win. And so what have I won? I've won the ability to speak for myself. I've won the ability to write, to edit, to use my imagination, creativity, my innocence, to capitalize on the H, on the home. I am on the home front. I continue. I remember my father telling us to hold down the fort. And, I took that as the physical house, not just, uh, operations within. Somehow my mind had already taken it to the grounds. And so when I could no longer protect the grounds in my own might, I had to level up in a spiritual way to what the fort meant. And the fort meant is the money. Fort meant. What is the fort? The fort is an anagram for trough or of RT, right training. Train up a child in the right kind of train. And so Fort Knox is a kind of knocking on your head, or some would call a melon, or knocking on your chest to see if there's anything in there. What does your heart beat? What is your heart pump? And so one taps his own chest to make sure that they are awake. You don't have to pinch, you don't have to bite, you don't have to get violent and physical, but it's just a way to acknowledge self in the flesh. Excuse me. Self in the flesh, not the flash. Self in the physical form, the body form. Now, I went ahead and illustrated me as a piece of wood in a chess game carved out for such a time as this, when people are using metaphors, but they are not applying them. I had no interest in playing chess. But because, like the Bible, it is one of those towers that need to come down, that need to be eradicated from our psyche. Everybody isn't interested in playing chess. They do need to know that others are, and that there's a thing called strategy, and these are mind games. And someone said you need to be 15 steps ahead. And those in AA are, only taught the 12-step program. That means someone else is leading the pack. And so as a golden Thor, an author, the pencil, and to open up the pencil is to start to write, to edit that which has been running the program for so long. What's the word? Elite. It. E. Who was L? Well, Mike L. Samuel. Any other L's? Ellsworth, my father. But these are all words. In the beginning was the Word. What word? He said God. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was God. The Word was with God. That Word became flesh. You and I are made of flesh. We are not chess pieces on a board to be sacrificed and knocked off. And so this justification for mental war is definitely over for me. And I'm sharing that. If you have found this video, this audio cast, when you find it, not just if L, because I am past the if. I saw the file as an anagram, as a miss scramble for life. And it is up to us to edit it. I heard two European gentlemen on YouTube tonight uh, calling themselves the black sheep. And again, how do you reconcile these terms, these terminologies? Somehow, black is beautiful. Somehow, not knowing makes people okay. Some, others want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And so, to me, to inquire means to go within. But it also sounds like the choir, as in heaven. So I'm speaking to my own choiries, my own singers, my backup, my support. If the white men are the black sheep, what are the black men? That's a question. These are questions panning the audience. I think it came down to uh, mentally, I was military KP. I was kitchen patrol. I would not have fought in the army, but I'm not going to deprive these men of sustenance. May the true will of God prevail. That all men and women, of course, by default, be free. Women, ladies, mothers, we created these men who have gotten out of hand. If it's a hand clap that they want, give it to them so they can sit down. They need to get out the seats. They need to move. Wherever we decide to come from is a place of authority, a place to write our own story. Do it right now. I'm past authoring. I'm past the gold. I'm into the platinum. So the gold, once I realized who I am, you're already past that as an ever evolving, ever loving. Every day is better than the day before. I don't want to say sweeter, causes cavities. Better than the day before. There are people that they are just so fearful of even asking questions. And the way that I got around that, or questioning the Bible, the way that I got around that in my relationship with God was you can ask God a question. Don't question God, as in questioning the authority of God. And again, that was up to a point. Now I question the authority of what we call God, in the sense of Michael means who is like God. That's a question. He has the Michael has the L. We know Mike as a amplifier. In the ship of Michael is the word heal. And so, as I was listening to these um, Europeans talk about being the black sheep of the family, and I couldn't help but to hear the template. being ostracized from his church. He didn't go into the details. Again, he had much regard. He was seeming like a gag order, shush money. And I say money, just, value the church. Don't turn anybody away. But let's just say we have to part ways. But then the body turns their back on me. Bro, that's scripture. The problem is people are tired of following the script, even though they're not even reading it. Apparently somebody's reading it for you, or you don't have to read it. When something if something has been in place for more than 2,000 years, most families have them in their house. Whether they use them or not, it's like an insurance policy. It's there if you need it. But if you were to go in there and use it like a real map, how far would you get before you laughed or cried or threw it or burned it or called a friend? Do you know this was in here? And their response, what are you talking about? If they can find it, it may be sitting out somewhere in, the open. Others, they got to dig for it. I guess that's my first call to action for a scavenger hunt. For those who has the Bible in their house, the Holy Scriptures, the good book, the black book. These white men were talking about, one particularly was talking about leaving the cult called the church, and keep the word neutral, CULT. I call it see you later. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. What is that? What does that mean? Two different species, often mistaken for the other, just kind of grouped together. And so, listening to him say that he left the church, but it was like leaving the whole body of his friends, his group, his support. And then not being able to communicate. And so that was the word I heard, excommunicated. And that's the first part of war, is knocking out communication. So you're excommunicated from your source, your resources. And you're out there on your own. The people, if you're close to those, they ignore you. You don't necessarily speak the language and the lingo of any new groups, any cell groups that you may see. And I'm thinking about slavery on a different level. But the rhetorical question was, how can he not hear himself when that's exactly what was done to our people and more? They didn't just let you leave. We didn't get a carpet rolled out for us to leave the continent. And so here's the thing about the spirit, not the white man or the black man. Here's the thing about the spirit that is nasty on this planet. A kind of evil I just could not imagine. Don't want to, don't need to make my point. To justify by a book and wonder why people are being called crazy. Being behind the 8 ball can also be being behind the black book. That's the part I appreciate about the Blazing Saddles movie. Basically making a total mockery out of the Bible. I didn't see it that way at first. Again, you have to eat it in small doses. When the pastor, priest, whatever they called him, minister Johnson of the Johnson town, held up the Bible. Like, all right, guys, y'all got to listen to reason. I'm sure there's a reason in this book for what's happening. And he didn't get to say all of that. They shot that book. Not him, they shot the book. And the pastor, preacher, minister of the cloth, he looked at the black man and said, "Son, you're on your own." And that said to me, and I hope it says it to you too, that if they ain't gonna listen to this has been what's holding it all together. The entire system, from divorce to marriage to how many times you can remarry before you're considered a whore, slut, gold digger. You know, her beauty has faded. You know, all the things that have been casted on women that would make them not want to shine so bright. So your day is coming. Every dog has its day. And now I'm a dog. Now you got me crawling. What gives? And so in the Blazing Saddle movie, when the preacher basically gave way to a new paradigm, a black sheriff, their whole thing was, we got to get rid of the monster. Mongo at that time. But I think the deliverance came, the waymaker was when they shot the Bible in church while the preacher was holding it. Missed his fragile, shaky hands. And so it said, we're not trying to kill the man, but that Bible isn't working. We've got a live situation. Mongo is tearing up the town. Santa Maria is not coming. You've got the brown people scared. Excuse me. And so the Mongo is defeated by the tenacity of the black man, the humor of the black man. So I got respect for you. Mongo don't have an eloquent speech. Mongo just a pawn in the game of life. Use the brute force when you can't get what you want. If you can't come to the church and gather around and hear what the good book has to say about it, you do a number 6. You know, if these are the tactics, these are the strategies to break up a town of incest and uncleanness, and to bring a railroad track, a train track, to transport through the mind of the rock ridge. Your head has turned into a rock, and there needs to be a train of thought that goes through it to get to the other side. And I'm here to build that track. There is no quicksand. There is no fake rock ridge. Yes, there will be a toll, a dime, 2 dimes, pair of dimes, pair of quarters, $1. We're going to make sure that we collect an offering. This information will be for sale. I will patent myself. I'm already patented by God. I like it. Patent by God. I'm the golden age. I'm the golden globe. I am the dog. And so what is any chess game about beyond the strategy, the war itself? Is to capture as many pieces as you can before they all go back into the box. But it represents I am the better man. What does that really mean? We still got a mess to clean. Can you be better at cleaning? I'm still talking about blazing sounds. He spit into the cup, used his dirty rag that he used, I'm sure, for everything. His nose, his butt, the floor, the bar. And they was wondering why, you know, Howard was talking about the latest disease, vaccines for this, anthrax. Think of it, a thing of the past. Think of it, COVID, a thing of the past. I saw YouTube the other day talking about when children got the chicken pox. It was called a chicken pox party. Everybody that ain't got it, go get it if you're going to get it at all. Talk about a potluck. Just my luck, Susie got chicken pox. Well, bring the kids over. Let them have a play date. Nobody got quarantined. You sat at the table and coughed in your cereal and coughed at the table and snotted and snorted. Tissue snot balls everywhere. What are you afraid of? What termite, what ant is bothering you today? Well, it's me. It's me. I'm the one. I'm the V. I'm the Vant. The Valate. It's okay to be an ant. If where you see one, there's a nest somewhere. There's a whole farm. I got your big pharma. The ant farm. Please don't let my coughing scare you at all. Uh, I've learned how to not get sick. This world is my carnival. I'm immune to the BS. But I see a problem in the Blazing Saddle movie. If it's just a movie, then I want you to think again. Watch it again. But I'm thankful that the black man went on off the scene into a more modern time. The problem is he had sex with that German woman. That's the part I don't. That's for another movie. It's for another podcast. Well, he said to tell the family secret, my grandmother was Dutch, and grandmother being Dutch to me means that she paid her own way. She had her own money. The queen is the most powerful piece on the chessboard as she has sovereignty. She can move the way she chooses. What's a game without a queen? You have to become your own queen. Have your own collective consciousness for self. Collect yourself. What did E tell Elastigirl? Pull yourself together. Collect you and your ancestors. You as one body. Don't say to your toe, she gone. Be lactose intolerant. Intolerant to lack your toes. I got all 10. Let that be your humor. Let that be your vice. Let that be your medicine. Metaphors is one of the last games to get rid of or to resolve. People say them so often. We say them so often that it's hard to catch yourself when you do it. And again, there's one of them right there, to catch. I'm not throwing myself, but that is part of the projection. Anytime we get on with life, we are projecting. We are the light. We are the light in our own eyes. And so the reverence that the two white men were trying to give their church, which is the internal layout of a womb. So to go into the church is like going into your wife's womb. It's no longer your mother's womb, it's your wife's womb. So it says, if your mama took you to church, that's you was born again there. But if you continue to go back, that's why you have the wedding in church and you stand there with your wife and your mother is retired. She sat down. And that's why there should be no conflict. That's why you're supposed to leave and cleave to her cleavage. She got the bosom buddies. She's got the money tucked under her breasts. Those are your push-up bra. Push up from some 20s, some 50s, some Benjamins under there. A couple of loaves. A couple of loaves of bread. A couple of... Y'all get me. I hear way too much struggle, and it's around that book. When trouble comes, then we'll have the support come together. How about when trouble ain't? Cause let my stomach growl and I'm hungry. Somebody take me out to eat. Take me to dinner. Don't take me to no ball game. What is the need for the guns? Going hunting? Maybe since Bambi can't get you back, Bambi can't get the revenge. Maybe she used your church, your brother, your uncle, your cousin. Maybe the God of nature don't want deers shot. Maybe Rudolph isn't rude. Maybe Rudolph is Randolph. The red nose. For me, the recording button now is that I just look down at it. 30, what is it? 36 minutes, something like that. Shout out to my mother. Red nose reindeer. I heard it. Telling me to reign. Be a deer. Rest, rule, reign, abide. Stay here on the planet for as long as you like. You have just opened up the bank. The gold standard is back. I am the gold standard. I've been called by my birthday. We had Thomas Jefferson born on the 4th of July, and he left on the 4th of July. Well, I made my entrance July the 9th. Yeah, listen to that stomach. There's your Leo. There were two kings, or rulers of sort, that interjected the 10-month lunar calendar. Julius Caesar and Caesar Augustus. JC and CA. Caesar Augustus backwards is AC. Now, who wouldn't want AC in hell? Who wouldn't want some air conditioning? Or central air, ACCA. And Julius Caesar, well, again, that's Jesus Christ, Jim Carrey, Jim Crow. Is it just that? The initials? Is that all it takes? The T? I looked at the letter T, the character of T, and it stops you. It's a timeout. You see it in football. One hand palm to the other one's tips. Timeout. Can we call it timeout? Call the tea time. Men, if you don't want to act right, ladies, can we get together? I'm for either room. I think I was trying to decide on who I would try to appeal to. The ladies in the kitchen crying under onions, peeling back the layers, or the men in the library with the Akashic records and the cigars and the books, and the study under the banker's lamp. Some people make some really big vows that they're going to have to cash in because of me. And I'm fine with that. I'm great with it. I'm financially better for it. That's what people get when they say wild stuff with their mouth to try to show their dedication to something that they don't even know. I came to set myself free first. This white man sounds like the prodigal son in his own way. He sounds like me. I don't just like a video. I wait till I hear something that resonates, means that I would have said that. He didn't seem anything like me. He's a wrangler. I'm a I'm a Levi. I'm a true religion kind of gal. Apple bottom jeans. But we all got genes. All got children got genes. And I got genius. I woke up every day. I said, let's redeem our time. Let's get our time back together. Money, the loving of the money itself is the root of all evil, because there is value attached to it, but somehow disconnected from the human being. Say what you want, but the homeless man is not valued like the man in the penthouse. How he looks and how he smells, what he does all day. And sometimes that could be quite similar. Starting with the red noses. So I'm here to not only shed shed light, I'm here to shed humor on our world, pass around some spiritual helium, take the alpha out, the alien life. It's not strange that it has taken this long, because we do have a respect and regard for authority, for what is written. But everything written isn't of your best interest. And that's why I'm interested enough to look at this King James Version with someone who's willing to see what it meant. It is a book of exacting. But I knew one thing: reaping what I sowed, and most everything I sowed was in my time, in my tears, with much earnest, much sincerity. And when it was all said and done, I still had my wits about me. I still appreciated my children and my family. I didn't feel like, even as a writer, I believe it's one of the toughest jobs on a family. And talk about the self, the I am, the writer. It's a tough job. But I had not called in my money yet. So this is what this is about. I'm an author, I'm a writer, I'm a talk show host, I'm a mate. I've checkmated myself. And why the black standing? Well, that should be self-evident, but I had to look up what black humor was. I don't even recall if there was such a thing as white humor, but black for me stood for the ink. And white for me was the leukocytes. And it says they're there for a reason, of course, to clean up. But as long as I am standing solid, there will be a management, an observation of the reports given about how this world is changing based on my presence, not just on the recording. That has its place. God knows it does. I know it does. But my power is in my presence. See, we never go back in the box the same. Every experience leaves an impression. Look at the board. It's been worn many times. It's beginning to fade. And yet the game goes on unresolved. For some people, it's not over until the game is put back up in the closet and away, polished pieces. Some just go thrown back loosely. Others have their little slots. It depends on your analytical view. But in order to impact the world in a way that remained healthy for me, I made a pact with myself. I would listen. I believe Michael Jackson's songs about I'll be there. He meant it. He's here in spirit. He's here in record and truth. And a lot of times we're looking for so much woo-woo without looking for it, peeking through the keyhole and not just knocking on the door or opening the door. That we scare ourselves into our own prisons, our own prism, our own range of where to go. Can't go here late at night, can't go there, can't do this. It doesn't start with the human animals, it starts with the four-legged animals. It plays itself out in the two-legged beast. But when we call humans, us as humans, we call ourselves animals, or you all call us animals. I do not. You call yourselves animals in that species, then there's not a distinguishable enough line for some people to decide to shoot a deer and then to shoot a bear and then to shoot a human. The transition is not hard. You're taking life. And as a prolific writer, I just want you to be aware. So, and most hunters are. They killed a bear, they have it taxidermy. There's your taxes. Taxidermatized, and head hung, and beard, the deer, and they probably eat jerky, I don't know any that, go so far as to make moccasins, but, basically, I did it. Now, again, from hunter to hunter, my thing would be, where's the hoof? Where's the tail? I go Native American on you. Where is the rest? Why is the blood crying from the ground? Why didn't you burn the blood and sanitize the area? If you're going to hunt right. Clean your knife. It is not to go against anything. It is to bring protocol to everything. To call the pro. Pro to collect. COD. Cash on demand. Whoever wants to be free from doctrines of demonstrators, people that shake the book, but they haven't read it. Like you said, people cherry pick from it. The one guy brought out the fact that Abraham uh, had a group of 300 men. That was Gideon's army was that big. By the time God reduced it. But it says if we got 300 black men together, let's get 300 black men together. How about that? Let's project a comedy show. Bring the best, of course. You can do it online, first, but comedy is right there next to universal language. Everybody likes to laugh. It's universal emotion, laughing. Kevin Hart already said it, laugh at my pain. And so, how about let's laugh at your gain? What did you gain after you said no pain, no gain? Where's the gain? And to me, that just plays all the way out to the fabric softener and everything else. The smell goods. When I'm buying the name brand, the Gain, the All, I'm in there. My brother used to say, I can tell you, or I can tell when I'm, basically at the top of my game, when I'm feeling good about myself. When my aquarium is clean. But when I'm feeling like crap, my aquarium look like crap, my goldfish are in survival of the fittest. He might leave, go out of town, turn the AC off because he didn't want to run his electric bill. If y'all gonna survive this murky water, congratulations. But that, to me, that is the extent of God's wrath, your own personal sovereignty to take yourself through. So I know I'm worthy. I know what I've been through. I know what the God of my salvation took me through. And I don't need a book to tell me that, though the book might say that this day would come. It may or may not. I don't need to read it. You read it. The man said it's too ambiguous. You can make it what you want, but that's the point. It's ambiguous. Am by. Got people claiming bisexuality without even knowing it. Got people acting out stuff without even realizing they're under a spell. I believe the book was a lesbian book from the beginning, from a LGBT gay. I believe the Bible is that. It started with the red, the primary color, the shedding of blood, cutting off of foreskin. And somebody went a little deeper. Ishmael, teasing Isaac, and then we go get a ram in the bush to make it all go away. Well, I'll cut mine down too, if that makes you feel better. No, it does not. But it showed covenant. It showed commitment to this magic. This secret, no longer secret. society. We've got social media. Where's business media? Where's society media? I'm not here to be social. I'm so done with how are you doing? Are you a mortician? I'm always great. Why do you keep asking? I am as king. You are as king. We can really turn this world properly by giving everyone their property, space, even on the chessboard. No two people, no two chess pieces will occupy more than one space at a time, except for when it's face down, like it is right here on this demonstration. So if you got more than your share of square, your more than your one plot, you got a lot, you face down. You've been checkmated. Whatever that square should equate to, you need less if you plan on dying. Give you room to grow, room for ants to come and sit down at the table. Excuse me. I give you 10 by 10 feet. I said, just room to take your stuff. See how long that lasts. See, people say you can't take it with you. Try. Put a ring in the casket, see how long that takes. That might bring some people back alive. You heard them. Their fingers start cramping up. He got rigor mortis. No, he don't want you to take that ring. I'm for real though. Let's come alive. Let's improv. I appreciate Will Smith because he knew his lines. He saw his lines and then he made it his own. And he brought the spirit. The letter killeth, the spirit brings life. No, nobody wants to hear you read. Hello, I am happy to be here. I know that no, that's robotic. And then even if you've learned how to read the teleprompter, it's not what's in your heart. How many good movies have we seen where the person got up there with their speech and then decided, you know what, I can't do this. I gotta speak from the heart. Y'all know this is a bunch of BS. And if you call it like that, belief systems, because I ain't seen a bull in a long time. Belief systems. Be a fig. Be fruitful. Be a produce. Be something with seeds. If you can't go back to your family, again, we're talking about a new fig anyway. A new figure of speech. Make sure you're playing the game that you want to play. And if not, go win at theirs. I want my island. I've earned the whole frickin' chessboard. I want black and white on my team. I want yellow. I want red. And I'm not sure anymore if Betty turned into Bob or Bob turned into Betty. I'm not sure anymore if I want to know, need to know, care to know, or if I want that to be my biggest quest. I think that's the one. To find out why. I mean, we do have bull castrations. And maybe these are people acting out. We've acted the Bible all the way to the end. And we're still here. We survived the apocalypse. No CO. I'm not. There's nobody beside me. I'm all one. I didn't want to throw nobody under no bus, nobody from a train. Talking about movies and Bibles and letters and words and scribes and scribbles and interpretation, and then what we do once we interpret it. And for me, this is the beginning. I try to keep in my consciousness very often that I just got on the planet. Call it Planet B, call it Plan A, call it Planet V, whatever you can do to keep yourself separated from the numbness of just the book itself, what it represents. It's a symbol. It became an idol. We didn't SOS. We didn't search the scriptures. I mean, really search and come together and reason. I believe it's worth it. The book itself, it's got magic in it. It's got Elon in there. But that is not to make it so mysterious. It's to bring what's the man named Einstein? It's to bring his theory into a science. Somebody's going to see this book and somebody's going to remember or to member put a memo in it. Be one of the writers. Be imaginatory as a writer. Would I have wrote this? Would I have been okay with this part and that part? Again, I totally believe women should be totally exempt. You're told to be quiet, and if you can't talk, again, it smells of court. It smells of judgment. Or again, a big game, a big joke, a big yoke. So no, for those who have said it, you're absolutely right. This is a totally different year, and for me, lucky is with a EY, KEY. These are the keys to waking up every morning and saying, no, not today. You don't have to call it Satan or Saturn, unless the no is no to a ring. Saturn is the one going its own way. Saturn is the planet that has the ring. And some people represent that with the brim hat, the black hat, the top hat, the magic, the darkness. Others with marriage. Married to the secret, married to the woman, married to the man, married, marred. And every march We march into some kind of battle or farm. It depends on, what metaphors you have found yourself in, but very few people are actually farming with love and with happiness, as this is going to get on the plate of some happy little girl or happy little boy or happy mom or happy dad, or you know crumbs on the table for the dog, or on the floor, excuse me, if y'all do that. Daddy said no dogs in the house. And for me, that dog and God is the same thing. It's just a mirror. So next time somebody dog asks through the little typewriter thing, who am I? Tell them you're God. You're God in the mirror. And we are God in the flesh. There's nothing that has been made that we didn't make ourselves. It's a two-way street. When we decide to let us make man, we're basically saying, let's have a baby. In our image and in our likeness, of course it will be. Will you, that baby, he, she, it, if that's what you're into, will have our likeness. We'll have such a blend you don't know where one ends and one begins. Nations within self, self-contained, self-love, self-serving, self-indulgence. The blood becomes pretty thick. And so once you become thick with it, you become thick with yourself, you become the peanut butter of your own life, then now you can serve others. Because I know who I am, I know my worth. And I want to know that the world knows they have a worth. Everyone is doubled you. Double you. That's in everybody's alphabet. Some call it V. Thank you. Double V. Double woo. But it means the same thing. Whether voo or woo or you. We is yes. So, what do you want to do about it? We don't have to call another war, and anybody that does on a talk show, you, that that should tell you what you need to know. I am not syndicated. I am not um, pre-recorded, pre-thought out, scripted. I don't have a vested interest in have to separate my views from the views of the channel. I'm all one person. And I had a problem when Abraham got it down to 10. And he said, oh, okay, can't get no more. Y'all do what y'all got to do. I said, why not one? Sodom and Gomorrah. If people say Lot's name like it don't mean Lot. And yet we're not given the opportunity to come together by our own doing. I'm not I'm not coming together to fight anybody's war. My military starts with millions of money. War on poverty. and making sure there's no soul lost to it. And it starts with self-identification. My name is Val, and I validate my messages with my voice, with my presence. No matter which way you go with the Bible, no matter which way you go with humanity, we should come out reaffirmed, reconfirmed that we do have good sense. God forgave Abraham for all the incest and castrations and stuff that he did. He had a pack of people with him at all times and all of that. God forgave all of that and called him the father of many nations. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what you think you can do at this point that God hasn't seen, heard, felt, done. Hey, go wipe out those people over there. They're playing with dolls. Who gets to say that? God told me to wipe out those people over there because they're playing with dolls. Who gets to say that? Here it's written in this book. But who wrote the book? Well, here's King James's version of the book. How old is it, and how long are we supposed to keep it up? Why isn't God speaking today, 2023? God is. And we shouldn't need another name. God, the universe, ancestors, we should not need another name to validate our truth. I am self-evident as a person. You are self-evident as a person. Period. That should be more than enough. Free air, free water, free thought, and it will stay free. It need not go into a courtroom to be made legal or illegal. Don't even question something else going into a book. Section 537. Come on. Are they here today? That includes these declarations. It ain't clear to we the people. Can we talk like that? I don't have a we. I'm as French as I am. I don't have a we for you. Me, the people. I'm the people. I'm the peephole. All right, I need to go. It's just gotten over an hour. I love you all. I teach you all. I show you all. We don't need another war to come together. We don't need to blame anybody, blame anything. It's written in a book that many have not read for themselves, and for that reason alone, instead of digging into the convolution, again, you could have at it if you want. But I think we do ourselves a better justice by having a conversation and let our words be our bond. That's the part I don't see enough of, no matter what book it is. so many pages to say, be true to you. Let your word be your bond. Stick to it, because it's going to stick to you. So remember your words. Keep them healthy. Keep them wealthy. Keep them wise. Know that there's somebody out there for you, supports you, that gets you. Until next time, take care.